Familiarity is killing relationships. Not cheating, not lying. It's familiarity. We're so used to seeing someone or talking to someone every day, knowing every detail of their day, knowing everything about them that even when the relationship is unhealthy, we stay. We stay because it's familiar. Today, I want to break down why being overly connected with someone kills trust, kills respect, kills attraction, and kills basic appreciation in relationships. When you talk to someone or hang out with someone for a certain amount of time, it could be friends, could be your partner, could be 2 months, could be 6 months, could be 2 years, could be 5 years, different for everybody, absolutely. It becomes a habit. That's the point. Hanging out with that person or talking to that person becomes a habit and not a conscious choice. Habits feel safer than separation. That's why even if someone hurts you or does something wrong, your brain will initially tell you like, "Oh, whatever, we move past it." That's why so many times you might catch yourself or someone else explaining or like justifying people's bad behavior. Oh, I known them for like 10 years. You just gotta get used to him. That's an indicator. You start talking about your partner with someone and they're telling you like, yo, you should not be in that relationship. Oh, no, no, you don't even know how much she loves me though. She just, love makes you crazy. No, no, these are all indicators. But for you, it's easier to stay, to feel unnatural, to feel out of character. Something you need to remember is your brain runs off of patterns. That's all it does. Every decision you've ever made was based off patterns that your brain picked up. You probably clicked on this video because the last time you clicked on a video about relationships, you learned something new or made you feel better about your relationships. Your brain notices that pattern, made you click on this video. What I'm trying to say, the longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive it is to go home. Meaning, the longer you stay in the mess, the harder it is to get out of the mess, okay? Anyway, the necessary foundation you need for a strong friendship, for a strong, healthy relationship is trust and respect. You need to respect personal space. You need to respect boundaries. You need to respect the fact that every person is an individual, independent individual that needs to live their independent individual life, and so do you. If you don't respect those boundaries, you'll never leave the window for trust to open because trust is built when you're not around, when you don't have eyes and ears on someone. What do they do when you're not around? What do they say when you're not around? What do they let people do or say when you're not around? That's when trust is built. Okay. And what I mean is like if I only hang out with you like 2 times a week and as time goes on, there's no changes between us. There's no random mood swings. You're not randomly starting these new weird behaviors that aren't good. You're not using somebody else's lingo, anything. We're stable. That means I trust you because I don't smell any fishy business because your gut will pick up if there's fishy business around. Okay? When you're constantly monitoring and turning your relationship into a surveillance program, you stop living two full lives and you start living one half-assed life built together. When you're always watching someone, when you're always listening to someone, it's not trust that you're building, it's fear. And what that means is if we hang out, I'm not going to say 7 days a week, that's ridiculous. But if we see each other 30 to 40 hours out of the 168 hours in the week for 6 months, say you go on vacation. Now I'm tripping. I'm trying to call you all the time, text you, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. But you can't answer because you're on vacation with your family. I'm gonna start freaking out because I never seen you. Like we never had space away from each other. So I'm only thinking the worst. What's she doing? I never seen her by herself. I don't know what she could be doing. She could be talking to this guy. She could be doing this. Could be doing that. She might not like me anymore. Blah blah blah. Whole time you're on vacation with your family in a five-star restaurant, having the time of your life, being loyal and everything. But because we never did that before. We never disconnected for a little bit before. So the surveillance program, there's no service. I can't surveillance you. I can't survey you, whatever they call it. Now I'm freaking out. And that's what happens. We put ourselves, excuse me, we put ourselves in that situation, okay? And then there's overexposure. And overexposure kills attraction. Because when you're constantly in someone's space, you start noticing and seeing and hearing things you don't need to be aware of, okay? Imagine you finding out that your partner wakes up at 9 a.m. every day, but they don't brush their teeth till 1 p.m. You gonna be grossed out? But their teeth are white, their breath never smell. But now you know they go 4 hours every day. That's just one example. You're going to start hearing a lot of things like that. You're going to start seeing a lot of things like that because you don't know how to live in your own space. And seeing small things over and over and over turn to big feelings. Because at the end of the day, remember, these people are human. They have a little bit of flaws to them too, just like you. You see a lot of small things, it turns to big feelings. Once you get overwhelmed, it's not going to be a good outcome majority of the times. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if you were a regulated person, independent person that could deal with being overwhelmed, you probably wouldn't be in this situation because you live in your own boat. Okay. And my favorite part of the video, the point of no return. It seems like there is a point of no return. That's when your lives completely merge, completely merge. You're no longer an independent person. You're just two people clinging on to each other. There's no more mystery, no room for appreciation to grow, no room to miss the other person, no room for trust to develop, nothing. You end up always bored, always irritated because your breath smells. Go brush your teeth and this. Why you have your feet on me all the time? Blah, blah, blah. Boredom, emotional suffocation, whatever you want to call it. And a quote that really speaks to me on this is if you don't live your own life, you're going to resent the person that lives it for you. Okay? Once you reach the point of no return, I feel like it's done. You either get miserably married or you just, I don't know. I feel like if you're over 23, over 24, over 25, it's really hard to recover from the bombings of getting out of a relationship like this. And the reason I say that is because, well, the reason I say marry miserably, like they're at the point of no return, is because to break these habits, oh my God. Imagine you're in a relationship like this where you're always clinging on to each other. You're with each other 6, 7 days a week. You go to the grocery store together every day, blah, 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 whatever. All the side quests in life you do together. You call every time you get a chance on break. Like sometimes you could go on break with your coworker, just chill. Sometimes you could go take a shit on break. You don't need a call, you know? Sometimes I just want to eat my sandwich and listen to music. Okay? Imagine telling your partner, I'm about to go to Walmart. Yeah, I'm coming. No, I just want, it can be quick. You don't need to come. Fight. Imagine telling your partner, oh, I want to switch gyms because this gym doesn't have the machines I want, blah, blah, blah. But you could stay here. Fight. Because you never did none of this before. Now all of a sudden you want to be independent? Fight, fight, fight. So marry, once you're at the point of no return, where's my camera? Oh my God. Marry miserably or let the bombs go off. But. You don't have to reach the point of no return. You gotta set boundaries, set a dynamic early in the relationship. And it doesn't have to be strict rules, but you just make sure you and the other person are on the same terms. I still want to live my independent life. You live your independent life. We hang out 2, maybe 3 times a week, sometimes less. There might be weeks where there's more, but more times there's going to be less. We don't need to text 24/7. We don't need to FaceTime every single day. We can catch up after lunch, maybe. We can go out for dinner once in a while and catch up. I'll call you before I go to bed, but it doesn't have to be too much. It doesn't have to be too much, okay? Because remember that you need your own life, you need your own hobbies, you need your own friends. You don't need a surveillance program on you, and you don't need to be running a surveillance program. And just always remember that a healthy relationship consists of two healthy people walking side by side, not two broken people glued together. Stay sharp.